All right, everyone. Welcome again to another show, another Trish.0 show. If you're watching this today live, then you'll know that today is Monday, and you'll see that I've done something a little bit different, right? I've kind of taken this idea of this interview show that I'm doing, where we're out there, we're asking event professionals all sorts of questions to find out all about their businesses. And what I wanted to do was bring on like a health and wellness segment, at least for the time period that we're all in quarantine, because I figure that you know what, we're out there, and if you're a couple that you had this day and you had it scheduled, and as every couple does, you had this whole workout thing going on for you so that you could look fantastic in your wedding photos, and now you've rescheduled the whole thing. But of course, you don't want to let all that hard work go to waste. That would be a real shame to do that. So coming on today, I'm bringing Jermaine he is J.Fit. He's Fit Scholar. Jermaine, why don't you let the people know who you are and what you do? How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jermaine Jenkins. Live here in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area. I'm a retired Marine. Spent over 22 years in the United States Marine Corps, traveling the world. During that time, I got a chance to work in diplomatic security, where I actually got to provide security for President Clinton, President Obama, Condoleezza Rice, and several other dignitaries during my time on embassy duty for working for the State Department. Now, being retired out the Marine Corps, I'm back at the State Department as a project manager full-time, working for a company called Cherokee Nation. Besides that, while I was on active duty, I got into fitness, especially being a Marine. Most Marines are known for their physical fitness. So I always excelled in physical fitness and got into bodybuilding in the mid-1990s. Did my first show at Camp Pendleton, California around 1997, 98. Had a blast. And ever since then, I fell in love with nutrition and fitness, and been so now I've been a competitive fitness person for over 20 years now. So I assist people with nutrition plans, with workout plans, and pretty much whatever their needs are to try to stay healthy. So been in the game for over 20 years. I love it. It's definitely my hobby, my part-time job. Looking to be full-time job soon. And yeah, just thanks for having me on here, Patricia, to help someone that might need help.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like when I put the call out there. Of course, I wanted to just kind of get a sense of who might be able to offer this remotely, and because that's a challenge, right? Like you're probably just accustomed to working with people in a very
Yes.
physical sense and in a very one-on-one sense. But how has that been, like working with people virtually?
It's been a little challenging initially, where there was technology issues that some people were having, or that some clients actually had to get used to it. I have a lot of my clients want that hands-on physical touch. Hey, Jermaine, I need you here in person to train me. Obviously, with COVID-19 out there, I told them, we can't do that, so we're going to have to go virtual. Trust me, it'll work. The biggest thing was just telling them to stay motivated. Once I
Yeah.
convinced the clients to stay motivated, that we can work through this, and they started getting faith in themselves, we was good from there. So now I have a gym actually in my basement. So luckily, out of nowhere, I decided to invest into a gym about 3 months before COVID hit. I think
Wow.
the man upstairs must have been looking out to me. So literally redid the basement, put in a bench, squat rack. I got a Peloton bike and treadmill, but I turned the whole basement into a nice gym. And then 3 months later, we're all teleworking. So I've been able to use that to go virtual with my clients to do some exercises and show them exactly what to do. The tricky part has been to it. I tell them, you may not have a gym at your house, but I can still say I'm doing curls with some 3 pound dumbbells that I have here. If I'm doing curls with these, I tell my clients they could use something as simple as a water jug to do their curls with. So we definitely had to be creative since we've been virtual, but it's been working, and it's working pretty good.
Fantastic. I mean, well, that's the thing, is that, um, you know, it's the motivation part of it, right? It's like it's
Mhm.
really not about um, the physicality. Like anyone can get up and go for a jog.
Right.
Anybody can get up and go, and do 10 push-ups or 10 sit-ups. Like anyone can do that.
Right.
But you have to get your head right.
Yes. And
And so how, like, what are the tricks, like when you have somebody who's coming to you and they're like, you know what, I was on a path, I was on that road to wedding greatness.
right.
And so like what can you tell people to be like, like, don't lose it, don't lose that
Right.
motivation.
I have to tell people that a lot of people think that us fitness competitors and us coaches out here, we just naturally are always motivated ourselves to eat good, to stay fit, and so forth. And I have to tell them we're not. I have a good friend. His name is Perry Wooten. I believe he's watching the show now. He's
All right.
actually one of my coaches. I train with him. So even when I start training and prepping, I need somebody to keep me motivated. So I reach out to Coach Perry Wooten, who's also on Instagram, and he's, hey Jermaine, you got to stay at it. You got to start training. So everybody needs somebody to keep them motivated, and I have my somebody. So when the clients reach out to me, the first thing I ask them, what are your goals? Well, I plan on going on a vacation after COVID is over. So, all right, if you plan on going on this vacation, you need to lose those 15 pounds. You want to lose those 15 pounds. So
Right.
I need you to get motivated as soon as you wake up and think about the end state. What is the end state? Where do you want to be at? How do you look? And speaking of weddings, one of my close friends was planning to get married in May.
Oh
Of course,
no.
yes. So as we talk about the pre-wedding, so of course he couldn't get married due to COVID-19. Him and his wife. So of course they had to push their wedding back. And the same thing with my brother; he's engaged. So with those, and people wanting to keep those, want to keep that wedding body, still want to keep everything not nice and tight to make sure they can fit in that tux, they
Keep
can
it
fit in
going.
that dress.
Yeah.
Exactly. I asked them again. Let's talk about your end state. Let's talk about your end goal. Then once they give me a date, all right, I'm now going to get married October 1st.
Yep.
I do like to make sure at least on a 3-month plan. So usually me and my partner, Perry, we try to create a plan to give her about at least 3 months. Because in 3 months, we can get your body pretty much where it needs to be looking at, long as you do your part. And don't be sneaking Oreos late at nighttime. We can get you there.
But no judgment, no judgment for all the Oreo sneakers out there.
That's my go-to.
you know well, you know what I mean, and it's so it's important that I put this particular disclaimer out there, right? It's because from a personal note, I've had a very sort of rocky fitness journey, my entire life, and this isn't about a size on your pants. This isn't
Right.
about your waistband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is, like from a personal note, for those of you who haven't seen me in person or whatever, I'm a big girl. So, but I don't let that stop me.
Right.
In 2007, I did, a half Ironman, and I run, when I'm out there on the trails, I'm usually running, anywhere between 3 and 5 miles a day. And I'm thick.
Yes.
So, but that's all right. But that is all
Yes.
right, because my goal isn't to be one of these size 2, skinny Instagram girls. My
Mm-hmm.
goal is to have like a certain, level of health and a certain level of fitness for myself.
Yes.
And so it's important, if people are out there watching and they're feeling a little triggered, and we're talking about sort of like health and
Yes.
fitness, we're really not talking about, mimicking an impossible body standard. We're talking about being in the best health you can be.
You are
Yeah.
absolutely correct with that, and that's a great point for us to lead into.
Yeah.
So many of the clients reach out to me, email, call me, and most of the time, the women will ask, hey, I want to hire you. I love the work. I see how you has transformed several people from where they started to where they're at now. But I don't want to look like, they said, Jermaine, but I don't want to look like that size 2 Barbie on Instagram. I don't want to look like that size 5 on Facebook. And I said, don't worry about that. It's all about your goals. What we're going to focus on is what your goals and what your needs. So I understand, my coach and I understand that some people are literally genetically challenged. No matter how much they work out and no matter how much cardio they do, they're going to lose some weight. But if they eat one Oreo, they're going to put on 10 pounds.
Right.
That other person with those skinny genetics, they can eat Oreos and honey buns all night, and they're going to naturally stay skinny. So I always tell the ladies and the guys that I know it's a challenge because the way our bodies are built, and our bodies are built differently. But some people are just going to be big, and some people are just going to be small. Now we can change it up and adjust it as much as we can. But your
Right.
genetics are your genetics, first and foremost. But and also have to tell a lot of the ladies, I don't want to look like with all the muscles. I said again, it's not going to happen if you're genetically not built like that. You're just not going to start working out and automatically have a whole bunch of muscles and have to be that size too.
Right.
So give me your goals, and that's what we're going to work towards. So great point, very good point.
Yeah, and I think that it's I think it's important because I think that sometimes people get very, especially wedding couples who are out there and they open the wedding magazine and everybody's, everyone has this very strict sort of look. And I don't want to call it cookie cutter because, everybody has their own unique beauty. I don't want to
All right.
disparage anyone's beauty when we're looking at that. But certainly, when you're looking at someone who is, like I can't open a magazine and look at someone who's like 6 feet tall Scandinavian, and I'm like 5'9" Mediterranean.
All right.
It's not going to add up. There's
Mm-hmm.
these two do not equal.
Right.
They don't. I cannot get there. Not without
Yes.
surgery, not without heavy surgery.
Yes.
But talk to me a little bit, like, you were also talking about, aside from the fitness, we were talking about sort of, the health perspective, like the cooking, and the different things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
people are stuck inside. What are the common mistakes that you see people are making that if you could walk into their living room right now and you'd
All
be
right.
like, what, if you just change this one
All right.
thing, you would make such a
But
difference in your life.
oh, now that's a good one. So I
Right.
love that question.
Right.
The first thing I would like to do is go into their pantry.
There you go.
So that I need to know where they're hiding the goodies. so so the first thing I would do is go, if I walk into this person's house and say, Jermaine, I need some help. All right, I don't have anything. I'm going to check and see. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna
It's like, are
go
you
into the
sure?
pantry.
Are you sure
Yes.
you don't have anything?
Yes. Are you sure you don't have anything? Like, no, I'm this size and I eat and I work out all the time. And I'm like,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to their house and need some eating tips, first thing I have to do is look into that pantry. I have a 12-year-old in the house, Jermaine Jr. So in mine, he got cupcakes, he got honey buns in there, Oreos, which is my kryptonite. So what I
There you
have to
go.
do, especially during competition season, and I'll be stepping on stage again in November in Pittsburgh at a national show. First thing I do when I get towards that, and if I was in somebody else's house, is I have to start removing some of those goodies because
Yeah.
the bad snacks, are usually what's hurting everybody. They're snacking on the honey buns, the Oreos, the cupcakes, the ice cream, and so forth. Now I would tell anybody you don't have to get rid of all of your snacks, but you need to get rid of some. For instance, they can get rid of the honey buns and place them with some natural almonds. I love some natural almonds, and almonds are good fats
Right.
instead of those Oreos, which are bad fats. Also, instead of having the Twinkies, try to go with some rice cakes. So I get the chocolate rice cakes, I get the caramel rice cakes, and what I do with those is I try to trick my brain, and it works. My brain is telling me that I need some sweets, like it does most people. I need sweets. I need my Twinkies. So with them being gone, I get that chocolate rice cake and I bite it in that scent. And even though it's a rice cake, and I know most people hate them, but again, what we're trying to do is trick the brain. So as soon
Right.
as I eat that rice cake and I bite into it, my brain is telling me that I'm getting some sweets, even though it's some false sweet, but it's tricks and I'm good. It kills the urge. The other reason I like the almonds is almonds give you that feeling, satisfaction. So grab some almonds when you want to go eat that slice of pizza. That also helps. So now that we got rid of, let's say half of your goodies, what are you cooking? What what are you cooking during the day? And what
Yeah.
time are you starting? What time are you starting to eat? I had a client yesterday that called me from Mississippi. Her problem is she's I believe she's about 110 pounds, and she want to gain 15 pounds.
All right.
One of the questions I asked her was,
Yeah.
how much are you eating? And she said, I'm eating 2 meals a day. I said, that's not going to cut it. I need to get you up to at least 4 meals a day. She said, there's no way I can eat four meals a day. And I said, well, that's one of the problems you're having with your weight in your weight gain. So that's another, she's at home, and as a common mistake for most people is that they don't eat enough. Now, when we talk about eating enough, for especially being at home during COVID-19, the question boils down to what are you eating? So not only do people need to eat enough, for instance, this morning I got up, I had a 5 o'clock workout, then I had egg whites, um, my wheat toast, and then I had turkey bacon. And I followed it up with a bowl of grits. So then I wait about 3 hours, and I'm going to go into my 6 ounce chicken breast, my sweet potato, and I got some brown rice and broccoli. Follow up that, I wait about 3 hours, and then go into the next meal. So the common so and I repeat that. So I usually try to get 4 to 5 meals in a day. Right now, I'm trying to get 5 meals in a day because I'm in preparation mode, and that's what I
Okay.
try to at least get people at home to do. You can get about a good 4 lean meals in. That will really help out during COVID while you're at home during this pandemic. The killer part is just don't be at home snacking on all the cookies, the cupcakes, and then when you do cook, you cook on a lot of fatty foods. Fatty foods during any time will sit on you, but it will especially sit on your gut, your thighs, and your glutes during this time because most people are not going outside and they're not doing anything. So you just really have to be strict about how many meals are you eating, what time are you eating, and make sure there are some lean, low calorie meals.
Yeah, I mean, it really like food prep is really important. We actually have a question from Harry Williams. He's talking a lot about like online advertisements about prepping food, and can you explain this? So what I really wanted to get was a little bit of clarification. If you're seeing a lot of online advertisements, is because the Facebook robot that gathers
Mm-hmm.
all of your analytics
Yeah.
and is like, behind your computer and linked with your phone and
Uh
looking at
huh.
everything you do online is feeding you all these things. So if you're someone that's you're like, oh well, I'm getting a whole lot of like baking recipes, or I'm getting a whole lot of this, that, and other things. It's probably because you're looking at content that is prompting the algorithm to funnel that information to
Right.
you. But I don't know if there was something else that you wanted to expand on, sort of like the advertisements about like prepping food and meal preps.
Yeah, meal prepping is essential to
Yeah.
to your success. Um, One thing I do most Sundays, not every Sunday, but most Sundays, if you probably can see it on my Facebook page at Fit Scholar, is that on Sundays I get on my Traeger grill out there and I put my 10 chicken breasts, my 6 pieces of fish, my turkey burgers, and start meal prepping for the week. I try to cook enough to last me for about 3 days. Some people cook enough to
Mm,
last them for 5 to 6 days. Since I know Jermaine and I tend to get burned out with the same type of food, I
yeah.
try to cook enough again for 3 days. So around Thursday, I can start to switch to something new. For instance, I may start on some steak, some type of beef, some type of steak, and then some type of hamburgers after I done the fish, chicken, and turkey burgers. So I get my lean meats. When I go to the grocery store, I make sure the meat says 95% lean turkey, 95% lean beef, and so forth. We all know that most fish is already lean. I still would get some salmon because salmon again is full of omega 3, which are some good fats, and we always need good fats, good healthy fats. So once I count my meals out, I count my meats out, which is what everybody should be doing. I said, 1 piece of salmon, 1 piece of tilapia, 1 piece of chicken breast, turkey burger, and then once I count the meals out, I know I have 4 meals for Monday, 4 meals for Tuesday, 4 meals for Wednesday. So my meats are set aside. Then I go to my good carbs. Then I pull out my sweet potatoes. I pull out my brown rice. And the same thing, took my sweet potatoes, took my brown rice. Then and my trays are already laid out on my island. Then I put sweet potato, brown rice, sweet potato, brown rice. Look at all the dishes. Now my carbs are complete. Next, I go to my greens and I pull out my broccoli. I pull out my green beans, kale. Once I get up 6 o'clock, let's say 6 o'clock, I'm gonna work out. 7:30, I'm gonna have my first meal. So if I'm gonna have plan for the next meal at 10:30, maybe say 11, I'm going to get hungry in between. That's when I have that hour and a half uh, I have a protein shake scheduled in between that time. So I have Dymatize in there. I'll mix up a protein shake. I'll drink it. Then I'm going to have my second meal. In between that time, I'm going to get hungry again. I'm going to reach into my bag of natural almonds, and I'm going to grab only a handful. Because almonds are still, as I said, they're fats, they're good fats. But if you overindulge in almonds, you're getting too much fat. A
Yeah.
handful of almonds. And then I'm going to go into my third meal. And right around my third meal, I'm done, pretty much done snacking for the day. And I just like to finish up with those last two meals. And that's what meal prepping allows you to do. Once you meal prep, you can kind of build your schedule as I just described to. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, so forth, snack, and your meals are already prepped. If you tend not to meal prep, what you tend to find yourself doing, you don't have the food ready at hand. So you may run in there and grab a Twinkie for now, or you may run in there and grab that hamburger that was left over from a few days ago and eat it. So meal prepping will save you, will help you with the lean meal, and it'll save you from splurging on bad food most of the time.
Yeah, I tend to find like that's always a really big challenge for me. Because I'm not always in complete command of my schedule because, I'm either like running out of the house because I have to meet a client or, I'm meeting a client at a restaurant. So, then I have to order at a restaurant. So let's talk a little bit about that because, because as we were talking just in the
Right.
Zoom room before, my office is in DC and I tend to work a lot with people in the DC area and we're a lunching culture, right? Like,
Right. Yes.
as I'm sure you're, more than aware, between the military and being in the area, people meet for lunch, people meet for
Yes.
dinner. So what can people do when they're, like when we get back out there and let's say you're talking now to somebody who like they've been good, they've been meal prepping at home, they've been taking this time in quarantine to really like get everything under control and, just get themselves right in terms of nutrition. But now they go back into a regular schedule. Now they go
Yes.
back into restaurants again, or something. So what can people do while they're out? Because between sodium and hidden fats, it's like a minefield out there.
Yes. The key is one key word: discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline is going to be the key word. And for myself, again, I've mentioned nowadays, like I said, full time. I'm a project manager, so with the State Department. So I am always, as a manager, managing people. I'm always going to meetings. Always going
Yep.
to meetings, whether it's Springfield, Alexandria, as you mentioned, Washington D.C. Always in meetings, and that is a very tough challenge because I have to go to all
Yeah.
of these lunches and I have to go to all of these meetings,
Right.
and 9 times out of 10, when I get there, they have the Krispy Kremes, they donuts, they have the Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, you go to
Everybody
the
got,
good meetings. They
yeah,
have
oh yes,
Krispy
good
Kremes at your
meetings.
meetings.
Oh,
Those are
Krispy Kreme.
that's a good meeting. That's
Yes,
that's
yes,
yeah. Your
yeah,
Oreos are my Krispy Kremes.
yeah. And and if I get one Krispy Kreme, I'm going to eat three. It's just automatic. You already just
You already
yeah.
know.
I'm going to
Yeah.
eat three. So
Right.
so when you get back on that regular schedule, which I've already been thinking about that myself because I was
Yeah.
actually up to 231. I'm down to 217 now since this
Fabulous.
started, since it started as well. And at work, I would be 231. So when you come down and you get back into your regular routine, you have to go get back to your regular routine, which going to all the meetings, all the eating, it goes back to that big word again, discipline. So what I've tended to do for myself is once I get to those events, well, if I'm trying to be nice and disciplined, this is the trick to most of your problems. Eat before you go out with your friends.
Yeah.
So when we have that meeting and I know they're going to have donuts and they're going to have coffee, even if I'm driving in my car, once I hit a red light or something where I can stop, I will scuffle down a quick piece of fish and brown rice or a piece of fish and a piece of fish and a sweet potato. So most of the time, if you can eat before you get to that meeting to stop from tempting yourself with all the goodies they're going to have there, that will solve most of your problems. Now, if you do not have a chance to eat when you get there, if the company or whoever hosting is going to allow you to order some off the menu, then it's just having the discipline not to order what everybody else is ordering. Your friends next to you is going to be, I want a Philly cheesesteak and I want a large pizza, and you have to, and if you and think about your, as I always say, think about your end state. What is your goal? If your goal is to fit into that wedding dress, if that goal is to fit into your tuxedo, as if your goal is to have that beach body before you go to Jamaica or DR, you have to order that salad and chicken breast and
Right.
love it and be happy about it. So it's definitely a challenge getting back into the regular routine.
Yeah.
And right before you get ready to order that Philly cheesesteak, say J.Fit told me end state. What is my end state? I will have the salad with chicken breast.
Keep that goal in mind. Keep the goal in mind, people.
Keep the
Keep
goal.
on. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's, and from like just to kind of bring my own personal perspective in it, I also have like a lot of food challenges where as I've gone on with the years, I got to that point where, every 6 months you get allergic to something or something bothers you and you're like, oh, I guess that's a thing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to a point where it stops being cute and it's just the way it is. So for me, if that's my helpful hint is for anybody out there who's sort of like, finding it challenging to be
Right.
in a social pressure situation. Just think of it like, like if you had an allergy, like I can't do milk, I can't do beef.
Right.
So no
Yeah.
matter how, no matter what kind of pressure I'm feeling from anyone sitting at a table full of steak eaters, I'm
Right.
not ordering a steak because I know what's
Exactly.
going to happen on the other end of that. So,
Yes.
so I recuse myself, and I'll order the fish or I'll order the chicken.
Right.
But it's a pretty tough thing
It is.
when people are out there because you want to feel like you're in the crowd and you're having the wine and you're
Mhm.
having the steak. But that may not
Yeah.
necessarily be the best thing for you at
And
the
it's
end of
so
it.
tough
Yeah.
in my line of business because my colleagues and the CEOs that I work with over the contracting companies are always saying, Jermaine, is this all you're eating? Have a glass of wine. I'm like, I really would love to have a glass of wine, but no, I have to be on stage in 2 months. It don't matter. Your six pack is still going to be there. And I'm telling them like, no, my six pack will not be there if I drink all of this wine and I
Right.
eat all these cookies.
It's like,
But
how do you
they're
think the six pack got there?
yeah, exactly, exactly. But it's interesting you mentioned that because my colleagues are always, you can have one donut, you can have two donuts, just eat, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I can't eat all of this. So you are spot on because they will encourage somebody who's trying to
Yeah,
drop the weight.
they'll drag you down.
They'll drag you down. You're trying to
They
get the
will drag you
vacation
down.
body of the wedding. Friends,
Haters.
colleagues, and friends will drag you down, and it's okay to be obese and overweight, and like no, it's okay to come down as well. But yeah, they will drag you
Right.
down.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I mean, look, there are going to be some people who are watching this who are being like, like, hey, like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. What we're
Right.
talking about are goals. What we're
Goals.
talking about is that, if your goal is to be, of a particular health or of a particular size or, to
Right.
look a certain way, let's just take it out of let's just take it out of the weight loss or weight
Mhm.
gain arena. Let's put it into like hair,
Yeah.
right? I'm a natural brunette. I can't just wake up tomorrow and expect myself to be a blonde, right? I know that there is a process. I have to go to a salon. I get my hair, gotta get it bleached. I can't do it myself because I'm gonna fry
Right.
my hair. There is like a whole process between here and going blonde.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing for having a six pack
Mhm.
abs. You don't just wake up
Yeah.
and that's where you are. Nor do you eat a box of Twinkies and that's where you are.
Right.
There's a process. It's a process. It's a journey. So what we're really talking about is like just finding that health journey and staying on it.
Exactly.
But now looping back a little bit to the gym that you built in your basement. Now, what's interesting about that is I've had repeated conversations now, just to let you know,
Mhm.
with people who have also kind of come into these sort of like, you know, like happenstance situations where like 2 or 3 months ago they did something which has now prepped them for whatever what like the world we're living in now. So it's almost like like we were talking about like the hand of God. If you believe in God, it's almost like I've been having repeated conversations with people who have felt the hand of God. So you have the gym going on downstairs. I adore Peloton. What is your favorite piece of equipment, or are you like an equipment guy? Do you like free weights?
Ooh, you know what? I'm both. I have some equipment like here that I brought
Okay.
to show here, so I'm both.
Yep.
Now I'm definitely more of a meathead.
Okay.
So I would definitely say I'm more into free weights. But also I'm a equipment guy, so I have, like I said, the Peloton bike and the treadmill. Absolutely love both of them. Um,
Yeah, and I didn't expect to love Peloton. Just like as a side note, for anybody out there who's we're talking about Peloton, and so, like I didn't expect it, but it was at my gym, and I
right.
tried it, and I was like, oh, this is I really
Yeah.
enjoy this. It was
Yeah.
really really enjoyable. But talk to me about the free weights. Like what is it about free weights that you love more than, let's
Mhm.
say, a bike?
Yeah. Free weights for me. While on active duty in the Marine Corps, well, I was stationed in California for spent about 6 years in California total.
Okay.
And in California, again, we talking beach body. Everybody wants to into fitness and want to work out. So here
Yep,
I
yep,
am, a
yep.
young guy from Mississippi, never been out the state of Mississippi, joined the military, and I get to California, and it's like, whoo, just sparkle goes off, and I love it. And
Right.
everybody's beach bodies. And I was always a jock in high school, so played football. And, same thing. Lift the free weights. Got to be all about the free weights. So when I get stationed in California, the Marine Corps used to have bench competitions at different bases. So me and some of my fellow Marines would drive from base to base, and we would listen to these bench competitions. Now I absolutely loved it because it's just a bunch of meatheads throwing on a bunch of weights and just lifting as heavy as we can, and just being a natural weight lifter, being somebody who loves competition, who loves the sport. Yeah, I was all about it. So I just fell in love with the free weights. So I can use other equipment, but free weights, they're definitely my go-to.
Well, and so if somebody doesn't have, you mentioned that you brought up some to like maybe walk us through some exercises we could be doing at home.
Mhm.
But let's talk about that for a little bit. Like what are some sort of like core things people can do? And if people don't have free weights at home, they don't have an exercise bike. I don't have a Peloton sitting in my studio. What can people be doing as the substitute?
There's a lot of good things out there that people can do for legs, for instance. People can do squats. You don't have to have a squat rack or anything. They can just stand up and do the regular squats. For instance, somebody standing up and they just doing the squats, going down, and so forth, which makes for a pretty good exercise.
Yeah.
Lunges. If people will like do the lunges, and I like lunges, so they can do the walking lunges, reverse lunges, stepping backwards, and a lot of people are into working their glutes nowadays, so they can get on their knees and do the donkey kicks and so forth. Also encourage a lot of my fraternity brothers out here, hopefully on the video. So give a shout out to the guys in Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Right. They're
Um,
all commenting. I have like
yeah,
a scrolling thing. So
yes,
as a side note, if you're watching and you're wondering like why I'm not getting into all these comments, it's because they're going pretty quick.
yes, okay.
So I'm trying to get to them as I can get to
Yeah,
them.
so for my great Alpha fraternity brothers out there, what I did
Yep.
for a few of them, I just wrote a nice little home workout out. So for instance, if you got steps, I said, hey, go up your steps and come down. One, go up your steps and
Yeah.
come down. Two, I said, do that 10 times. I said, put your feet. I said, all right, so that's gonna be your cardio. Now we need to work on your upper body strength. Put your feet on top of your couch, elevate it down. We're gonna do some push-ups and work on your chest. Now come down off the couch, put your feet down on the ground. We're gonna do some push-ups that way. Now let's work on those arms, those biceps. Grab that water jug, and we're gonna do some curls. And I got a lot of good feedback. A lot of the guys said, "Thank you for that workout. It was great. I'm able to use some stuff inside of my house. Even chairs, grabbing a chair and just curling it. But I'm doing something during COVID-19 instead of sitting home. Sitting home, not moving. And we know the body is meant to move. Um, not getting stiff and anything, they're moving. So they're using a lot of those home workouts to keep their body mobile and so forth. So it's been some pretty good feedback, and that's what I've been trying
Yeah.
to help a lot of people with.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really sort of like a trial and error, process, right?
Hmm.
Like obviously, if you're not somebody who's put together like a workout tape before, and you're
Hmm.
working with someone on a very individualized basis, that a lot of this is going to be sort of like trial and error and finding what people like, finding what people can do, and finding what
Hmm.
people are motivated to do. And so then in terms of then, so we talked about the squats, where, one of the things that I have also, that I also try to incorporate is a lot of, Pilates type movements. So do you incorporate like the Pilates and yoga and more like stretching, the long lean type of movements in what you do, or do you classify what you do pretty much as like high intensity type of workouts?
Um, I would say it's mainly high intensity types of workout,
Yep.
but I do encourage people to do the Pilates. I have a few friends that are into yoga, and they say yoga is one of the best workouts ever. So I do. I don't know
It
if you tried
works.
it. I've
Yeah.
tried it before, and I'm I'm kind of stiff myself. So I went through a yoga workout, and it was definitely one of the most intense workouts that I ever been through in my
Right.
life.
You're like, I
So
have never moved like this before.
yes.
Yeah. You turned
So
into Donna Summer. I've never known movements like this before, right?
exactly. So when it takes somebody like myself, my coach said Perry Wooden, who's on here, and you take us guys that's a little bit bigger, and we try to do some
Yeah.
yoga and stuff, and it turns into a pretty good laugh for some people. And
Well, but but that's the whole thing is like, you tried it. It was new. It wasn't quite your thing.
right,
But all right, you tried it. You
I
can't say
did.
that you didn't. You can't
Hmm.
you can't say that you didn't make the effort. And that's certainly, and that's also like an important lesson I think for people to learn
Yes.
out there. That certainly there are so many things you could be doing, so many different avenues you could be taking,
I'm I'm just
to
plugging up my
doing this.
phone.
No, that's all right. We're gonna shift it around. Are you about to show us some exercises? Is that what's going on with that? I don't know if
Oh,
you're or no.
the battery was getting low.
Oh, I love it. So for those of you who are new to my show, the Trish.0 show, my motto is if it's not a little ratchet and it's not a little fun, it's not the show.
Hey, I looked down
There's
and I saw,
always something technical that
yeah,
happens.
I saw the
Something.
battery flash. I'm like, oh, power's
Yep.
going already?
Yep. Last week we had somebody who answered a live call. In the middle of it, power out, the whole thing, you know what,
Hmm.
it just a little messy, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes the show fun. So now we're, so I had a couple of, people sort of chime in with some questions that they wanted
Okay.
answered, including, there was a question about supplements and about intermittent fasting. I'm a fan of both things. What is your feeling on, people who, want to do either, things through supplementation or, I, sort of like off kilter dieting techniques like intermittent fasting?
I think intermittent fasting is good. I've had a few clients that use intermittent fasting. One person that really turned me on to it was Terry Crews, the big
Yeah.
guy, big bald head
Yeah.
guy on all
Mm-hmm.
on all the movies, and
Yep.
he was into intermittent fasting, so he's one to
Yep.
call me to research it, and I think it works pretty good. I've had a few clients that use intermittent fasting, and I would stop eating at 8 o'clock, won't eat till the next day till like 12.
Yep.
And I've tried it a few times myself, worked pretty good. So that is one plan that I do agree with is that one. As far as supplements, I think supplements is great as long as people don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Um, I think they just have to follow the directions when you buy your bottle of protein. It tells you how many shakes that you could have in one day. It tells you exactly what size the scoop should be. The same thing with supplements such as creatine. Most of us use creatine. Creatine is already found in your meat. It helps you get a little stronger, help put on a little size. Very mild supplement. Creatine is. So I usually recommend it to guys and ladies who are trying to put on a little muscle and a size. And we know we need protein again because protein is all meat. Protein is just that building block for muscle. So put in a little bit of extra protein to help build that muscle. The third supplement I definitely like to stay with is amino acids, which are great
Yeah.
for BCAAs, which are great for recovery. So at a minimum, those are usually my big three for clients. because you have the amino acids. Because the workouts we want to give you, if you're trying to lose weight and you want that high intensity, you're going to get a high intensity workout. So you have those amino acids, those DCAs to help you recover. Again, you have the creatine to help you put on a little strength and size. It's not going to get you super huge. So we tell people it's not like steroids or nothing like that. It's over the counter supplements that you can get at Walmart and Target.
Right.
So it's fine. And again, you have the protein, which is again to help repair and build muscle. So with those three supplements, I think you will be fine. And those are usually my three go-to that I have in my house and that I recommend to most clients. But I do think that supplementation is good and it's helpful, and it can help you get some of your gains that you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm also like a huge fan of I don't think people get enough fiber. And
Yes.
like it's not necessarily a supplement, but I think that sometimes people kind of overlook that
Mm-hmm.
as like in their nutrition. I don't think people get really the level of fiber that they need. But talking about like protein a little bit, like especially for people who are out there who might like be looking to get like sort of rapid results
Okay.
and stuff like that. Um, like for me, my perspective, like rapid results also means like rapid decline. You can't maintain a rapid
Mm-hmm.
result. But if somebody has, let's say rescheduled their wedding, rescheduled that special event coming up, and they're like, oh, damn, I just put on 15 pounds
Mm-hmm.
because of COVID.
Right.
What can they be doing now to turn that around for themselves?
The first thing I would look into with helping that person is the diet, because first and foremost, if I tell most people, eating properly is the biggest thing of everything. Besides the weight training, besides the supplements,
Yep.
first and foremost, proper dieting. And when I
Yep.
mean proper dieting, I have to explain to people, it don't mean that you have to be just on a strict diet, that you're only eating lettuce and water and you just surviving. Proper diet is the same thing as proper eating, just mean kind of like I mentioned earlier, you're having that lean beef, that lean, that chicken breast, that broccoli and the sweet potatoes. So that's what they can start to be doing now. And then slowly increasing cardio. If they haven't been doing a lot of
Yeah.
cardio out there, and you just haven't been doing any cardio, as I talk to some people, some of these days outside is great. I live next to the YMCA here in Fredericksburg, so I like to go to the Y and the track, and there's a big mile track, and just walk 4 or 5 laps around the track. Take your
And
time.
if you're out in Fredericksburg, they have the battlefield.
Yes,
It's like acres and acres where like
acres.
no one for miles and miles
Right.
apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, there are definitely things like
Yes.
even up here in the DC area. There's a park that I go to and it's like 100 acres, and if I run into five
Right.
people, at any point in
Mm-hmm.
time, that's a lot.
Right.
So it's like find it, people there. Things are out there, and it doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be locked in your house. We are allowed
Right.
outside for some, to for wellness, for
Right.
for things that that might affect us. But we had a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like if you have additional questions for Jermaine, and like because of course we're trying to focus the show, of course, on sort of like wedding couples and things that
Right.
couples can do right now. But certainly, you have your Instagram page, which is
Yeah.
Jermaine J2 Fitness, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have it scrolling on the bottom of my screen, people. So I have to squint real hard. Like I have to pull in and squint real hard to see it. But in terms of like your client base,
Uh-huh.
obviously you're probably very heavy into referrals.
Yes.
But do you find like social media? Like, have you been getting an uptick in your social media?
I have.
In terms of like client outreach and stuff.
I say I have since COVID. I've been getting more of an uptick in social media. Yeah, I'm starting to get a
Yeah.
lot of messages on Facebook, a lot of messages on Instagram. Instagram saying I need some help. Can you help me out? I think yes,
Yep.
due to the pandemic, yes. Probably a few of us trainers out there. We're definitely starting to get more. That's me and my friend and my coach Perry Wooten established that. Yeah, we're both starting to get pretty busy. Oh, we both have been extremely busy, not pretty busy during this pandemic.
That's fabulous.
Mhm. And a lot of
That's
it's kind of
yeah.
like you're saying, people
Yeah.
are still have the wedding dates planned. They
Yep.
still have the cruises planned, the beach
Yep.
dates planned for later in
Yep.
the year. Hopefully, when around August, so they still want to look their best for their wedding. They still want to look their best for that vacation. So that's why I've been helping a lot of the couples out with the home workouts and things that they can do from the
Yeah.
house.
And
Hmm.
now one thing I've been really fascinated by on your social media pages is this massage gun. Like that looks
Yes,
like you could hurt somebody with that thing. Like,
right here.
but talk to me about it. But it looks
All
fabulous.
right, this massage gun that
Tell us about this thing.
one of my products that I'm selling on my website.
Yep.
So this thing has 20 different speeds and it has 6 different massage heads. And so you hit the power back here, and you probably can see it jumping.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can use this, for the shoulders. I like to use it for the biceps. After have a nice hard workout, come down to the forearms. But this thing works. You can hear the voice going. But this thing works miracles.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a lifesaver. After a nice hard workout, you can't go wrong with that. So the massage gun. I also decided to make some J.Fit waist wraps. So
Okay.
a lot of the clients, especially the ladies, love the waist wrap. So I have the sweat gel, excuse me. It's kind of like sweet sweat. If you ever used the gel in your trouble area. So a lot of people have stuff in their areas, the love handles, back fat. So I also have the gel on my website that you can rub on your trouble areas that will help heat it up and help burn
Okay.
burn fat in those areas. And you can put the waist wrap on to help you that. And once you finish that workout, back to the massage gun to take care of those knots.
Well, I'm really fascinated by the massage gun because, like right before this whole thing like hit, before the S hit the fan, I was gonna have like a spa weekend. It
Uh
had been a
huh.
very like it had been a very personally very busy time frame for me, and
Right.
running events, like I'm on my feet all day. It's a very physically strenuous business that I'm in, or can be. And so now I'm kind of like, oh, it might be like a
Yeah.
year before I can get to a massage. Like, what is that? But what is your website? I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. Your
The
website
web
is
the website is
FitScholar.
dot my shopify
MyShopify.com.
dot com.
All right.
And I have all
All
my
right.
products on there from nutrition plans to workout plans, my massage guns, the sweating gel, water bottles, and a few other things that my clients love to buy.
Yeah, I know. Taryn's Stubbs, she piped in. She's like, I want one. She's like, I need one. I mean, girl, we all do.
Yes.
We
And,
all
it's, and,
need
it's,
one.
and you're right, especially not being able to go to the spa nowadays, because we all get the little knots in the shoulders, the knots in the legs from just walking or working out. So I take that massage gun and put it on it now to massage those sore spots out. And I've had so many clients and customers calling me saying this thing is a miracle worker. Thank you so much for
Yeah, I
for
mean,
having me
because going
massage my.
forward, it's going to be one of those things where, we're all going to be giving people the side, like anyone who performs a physical service, whether that's nails or hair or getting a shave or,
Mhm.
just anything where people have to touch you. You're going to be giving them the side eye, right? Like, when was the last time you sneezed? You're going to ask them
Right.
for their medical history, every time they need to perform a service for you.
Hmm.
And that's just going to be the way of the world for I think at least a little bit of
Right.
time.
Hmm.
But that's it is what it is. At
Yes.
least you're prepared.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad I was pretty. Again, I was set up pretty good for the pandemic, so I realized I got to help everybody else with some of these toys and tools.
Yeah, exactly. And definitely, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of really grateful people out there who are going to be like lining up to make these purchases.
Yes. Hopefully
That's
so.
for sure. But you have all this thing. You have this going on at home. You have the gym at home.
Hmm.
You've got the prep. You mentioned your son. So is your whole family, like, is everyone on board with the J Fit crew? Or it sounds like your son's kind of like maybe at that age where he's like, I'm a teenager. I've still got years.
Yeah, my whole family is on board. You know, we actually during when the pandemic is not on board, as when the pandemic is not going or wasn't
Yeah.
starting. Yeah, me and the missus, man, babe, we're up at literally 4 o'clock, 4:30, starting
Okay.
our workout. So people be like, "Man, you guys work out like that?" And I said, "Yes." So we'll get up at 4 o'clock. We'll be exercising by 4:35, and then
Love it.
she's off to work, and then I'm off to work. We'll drop the kid off and come back, and then even at nighttime, we're back in there lifting weights and edit. So my son, naturally, I get him 4 or 5 days a week and bring him down. And of course, he complains. He's 12. He don't want to work out or do anything, but I'll bring him down and make him work out at least four days a week too. But for the most, yeah. Um, you know, they say when you date somebody to be with them, somebody's gonna pick up somebody's habit, and she ended up picking up my habit. And now I understand, though, she's running, 5, 6 days a week and running 5, 6 miles at a time, and lifting weights
Fabulous.
just as much as me. So, but yeah, so we're definitely a fit family into fitness wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's important to have people, especially if you're in a relationship to have that sort of that level of support.
Hmm.
And certainly, and because it would just make life really challenging, right?
Right,
Like if you
right.
were super into it and, and your partner was not.
Yes. Hmm.
But
Not
talking
perfect
about that
setting.
for just a little bit, let's say, you are in that situation, where, maybe you're dealing with, maybe the person that you're with is normally a very supportive
Hmm.
person, but is just maybe like mentally not in their game right now. Maybe they experience some sort of job loss, or they're
Hmm.
just really challenged by the whole stay-at-home situation.
Hmm.
What like what kind of advice could you give somebody to help them continue and be motivated on their and disciplined on their own fitness journey and health journey, when they may be facing a situation where their partner is just not there with them?
I think they have to ease into it. One major mistake that a lot of people make with their partner, they try to rush them into fitness too hard. It's day one, or they're going through something and
Yeah,
they want to just get in the gym and work through it. And then when they get
yeah.
them in the gym and they
It's like
kill
a
them,
100% right out
one
of the
hundred
gate.
percent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had a good friend of mine say I brought my wife in to work out, and he told me what the workout was. And I looked at him and said, "Why? Why would you do her like that? Her first day working out, and you destroyed her." He was like, "Oh, so I guess that's the reason she didn't want to work out with me anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, of course she doesn't
Right.
not want to work out with you anymore." And it's the same instance if you have a wife or a girlfriend or who's in outstanding shape, and she bring a boyfriend or a husband, just destroy them. 9 times out of 10, they will not want to return to that situation. So I tell them, if you're used to walking 4 or 5 miles, ease them into a 1 mile walk, and then talk to them throughout the workout. Walk, try to get your heart rate good and pumping, but try to have a
Right.
good conversation. While you're in there, so they can say, you know what, that wasn't bad. We talked about things that needed to be done. We talked about going back to work after COVID. We talked about our future goals and plans, and that worked out pretty good. So yeah, let's go for another walk again tomorrow. So I think just easing them into it instead of throwing them into the fire, yeah, you'll be okay.
Perfect. And we did have a question about, like, Henry was asking if he wants to lose 10 pounds by his wedding, how long should he give himself to lose those 10 pounds?
If you want to lose 10 pounds by his wedding, I think we can easily get that done within 4 weeks, easily.
Okay.
Longest the client is willing to do their part, yeah, they could go on the website, purchase the workout plan. And what I do, I design the workout plans and the meals plan specifically towards that customer. And
Yep.
with that workout plan and meal plan, my clients have access to myself as well as my coach Perry Wooten, so they can reach out to me, my coach, and we handcraft everything for that client. So if you have anybody doing weddings, yeah, we can definitely get 10 pounds in 4 weeks easily. I think we can even do 10 pounds in 3 weeks. As long as the client is willing to work, yeah,
Yep.
we can tell them for Mr. Williams, yeah, we can definitely get 10 pounds off in 3 to 4 weeks.
Specifically for him, 3 weeks, 2 weeks tops.
Yes.
Right. 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 Perfect. Well, Jermaine, we are coming up at the 55-minute mark. I just wanted to, of course, be very aware of everyone's time and thankful of their time, and respectful of your time as well. I wanted to follow, get our final question for the interview today. I ask a similar question to all of my people, everyone that I'm interviewing lately, but I'm going to modify it for you. So my normal question, the way I like to wrap it up is,
Uh,
if everything opens up and you can go where you want to go and eat what you want to eat, where would you go and what would you eat? But of course, in your case, that may not be the case. So everything opens up, but you can go where you want to go and do what you want to do. What are you going? Where are you going and what are you doing?
I think we're going to go to, I just mentioned the other day, I'm like, babe, she was like, what? I said, I'm ready to be on somebody beach. So I think I'm going to do a week-long trip to Jamaica on the
Fabulous.
beach,
Love it. Love it.
hire a chef or two, have them to wait on me hand and foot, and I'm going to enjoy some nice rum, some good eating, and and then come back to the U.S. and get back to work.
Right. Just have just maybe have a nice beach vacation.
Yes, I need a
Um,
beach.
what's always been funny to me is like, some people go away and they gain weight during vacation. Like I have
Uh-huh.
always found myself like I've gone away and like dropped weight during
Uh-huh.
vacation. And I don't know if that's just stress weight. Like that could be
Right.
it, right? Like
Right. You
like
can.
cortisol is real, people,
Yes. One of my
stress straight.
notes.
Yep, exactly. But again, thank you so much for doing this interview with us today. I hope that people really feel inspired by what we were talking about. That you feel you're not you're not it's you haven't been trashed. This
Right.
your wedding has just been rescheduled. Don't lose that motivation. Don't lose that discipline, because you've been doing so well. you know
Right.
like
Right.
you got such a good thing going. And of course, again, if people want to reach out to you, they could do that through your Instagram, which is
Hmm.
Jermaine J2 Fitness,
Yes.
and or they can go to your Spotify, and or your Shopify,
Shopify.
your
I got you.
Shopify, and get all that massage gun and the belt. And and you said that they can also purchase fitness programs from you. They
Yeah,
can
they can
purchase
purchase fitness
packages.
packages. They got the sweating gel, the waist wraps, fitness programs, and food plans, all on the Shopify website that they can purchase today. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Well,
Yes.
get out there and support local. And of course, if you have more specific questions, make sure to reach out to Jermaine, about your specific concerns and needs, because I am sure that he would be happy to work with you.
Yes.
Well, all right. Thank you again so much. And I hope that you get out and enjoy this fabulous day.
All right. Thank you.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Not a problem, Jermaine. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.
All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Have a
tuning
great
in.
day, everyone.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.